Welcome back to The Explainer. If you've been following tech lately, you know AI is literally everywhere, right? It's dominating headlines, hijacking keynotes, and just flooding product roadmaps. But beneath all that hype, the real focus learners out there have been asking one multi-billion-dollar question. Is enterprise AI actually making real money yet? Well, today we're answering that. We're decoding the Q1 2026 earnings report from Infosys, a massive global leader in digital services and consulting. We are digging into the raw data to see exactly how this AI catalyst is fundamentally reshaping the modern corporate balance sheet. Okay, let's dive right into this. 8.2%. That is the number that just leaps off the page here. In the first quarter of fiscal year 2026, a staggering 8.2% of Infosys' total revenue was driven directly by artificial intelligence. I mean, just think about that for a second. We're not talking about some small pilot programs or experimental research budgets here. We're talking about nearly a tenth of a massive global enterprise's core revenue coming straight from AI implementation. It's a really punchy, surprising fact that absolutely validates this shift from AI as just some cool theoretical concept to AI as a foundational real-world economic driver.
And trust me, the leadership at Infosys is making sure this does not go unnoticed. Take a look at this from their CEO and MD, Salil Parekh. He says AI momentum is now rapidly converting into revenue, which demonstrates how Infosys' differentiated enterprise AI value proposition is translating into consistent market share gains. The crucial takeaway here? AI is totally past the buzzword phase for Infosys. It is a hard, measurable revenue generator. They aren't just selling the dream of AI, they're actually deploying it at scale, and they're aggressively taking market share from competitors while doing it.
So, to really grasp how they're pulling this off, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the AI momentum hook, then check out the Q1 financial highlights, see how they're fueling growth with deals, look at some real-world AI partnerships, and wrap up with their future outlook and guidance. All right, first up, part one, the AI momentum hook. Now, Infosys approaches this whole transformation really methodically, using their Unlock AI Value framework. And what's super interesting here is that it's not just one single software product. If you look at the outer edges, you've got elements like AI Trust to guarantee security, which is absolutely massive for enterprise clients who are constantly stressing about data privacy. Then you've got Agentic Legacy Modernization to upgrade older systems, and Data for AI to feed in those crucial insights. They're seamlessly blending physical AI, process AI, and orchestration to seriously accelerate operational productivity. It's this holistic, end-to-end approach designed to touch every single part of a client's business. And honestly, that is exactly why it's generating that massive 8.2% revenue figure we just talked about.
Moving on to part two, Q1 financial highlights.
Okay, so it's time to ground all this incredible AI excitement into some hard, analytical financial realities. Does the actual balance sheet reflect the success of their AI strategy? Well, the short answer is absolutely yes. Their top-line performance is incredibly solid. For Q1 of 2026, Infosys delivered over $5 billion, $5,082 million to be exact, in reported revenues. That represents a 2.4% year-over-year growth in constant currency and a 1% sequential growth from the previous quarter. Look, in a really challenging, highly competitive global macroeconomic environment, breaking that $5 billion mark for the quarter proves their core business engine is executing with steady, continued growth.
But hey, revenue is only half the story, right? We have to look at profitability and efficiency too. And here, we see a highly resilient operating margin holding strong at 21.1%. Plus, they generated an impressive $0.96 billion in free cash flow. But perhaps the most impressive stat, basic earnings per share saw a 14.9% year-over-year jump in rupee terms. Just as CFO J.S. Songrashka pointed out, these numbers really reflect disciplined execution and a relentless focus on operational excellence. Simply put, they are making a lot of money and they are doing it incredibly efficiently. Let's jump to part three, fueling growth with deals. To really understand the future health of this company, we have to talk about their aggressive sales momentum. For Q1, Infosys secured a massive $3.6 billion in large deal total contract value. But the real story is in the breakdown. A staggering 61% of that is classified as net new business. So they aren't just sitting back collecting rent on 39% renewals from existing clients. No way. They are actively out in the market pitching their AI-first value proposition and winning entirely new enterprise contracts at a blistering rate. It's basically the corporate equivalent of not just keeping your regular customers happy, but successfully poaching the VIPs from right across the street.
Which brings us to part four, real-world AI partnerships. Now, it's one thing to talk about abstract billions and deal numbers, but it's so much more impactful to look at the actual powerhouse brands adopting this tech.
We're talking about global giants like Mercedes-Benz in automotive, Nokia in telecommunications, and Bendigo Bank and DNB Bank in finance. You've also got Centera in healthcare, Global Foundries in semiconductor manufacturing, and Spark New Zealand in digital operations. This is a huge testament to their deep domain expertise. The AI solutions Infosys is building are definitely not one-size-fits-all. They are highly adaptable across some wildly diverse and heavily regulated sectors. Oh, and definitely notice that last name on the list, OpenAI.
Yeah, that collaboration with OpenAI is absolutely massive. Denise Dresser, the chief revenue officer at OpenAI, actually said, as enterprises move quickly to put Codex to work, we're working with leading partners like Infosys to help more organizations move from early usage to repeatable deployment. We should really view this as the ultimate qualitative proof of Infosys's elite technical capability. I mean, OpenAI, the company literally at the absolute bleeding edge of artificial intelligence, is partnering with Infosys to deploy their technology at scale for things like legacy code modernization and application development. That is huge.
And if we dive into a specific mini-case study here, Bobby Milisevich-Lykin, vice president at Mercedes-Benz AG, noted that Infosys will embed AI ops and agentic AI across the IT landscape to further enhance reliability, efficiency, and innovation. They're literally moving one of the automotive sector's largest hybrid cloud and data center operations to an AI-led operating model. By using agentic AI, which by the way refers to AI systems that can act autonomously to achieve goals instead of just passively waiting for human prompts, they're modernizing critical, real-world infrastructure. It ensures things run reliably today while powerfully fueling their ongoing transformation for tomorrow.
All right, final section, Part 5, Future Outlook and Guidance.
Looking at their stabilized forward guidance for fiscal year 27, Infosys is projecting revenue growth of 1.5% to 3.0% in constant currency. But right alongside that, they've firmly retained their operating margin guidance of 20% to 22%. This is a really vital comparison. Management is making it crystal clear that even though they are accelerating their investments in AI, acquiring top talent, and building new platforms for future growth, they're doing it with strict financial discipline. They are fiercely protecting their profitability and making sure that all this growth is entirely sustainable.
So that leaves us with this final, incredibly exciting thought. We started this explainer by pointing out that 8.2% of Infosys's Q1 revenue is already driven by AI. That is a massive achievement today. But it begs a really thrilling question for tomorrow. How quickly is this AI catalyst going to transform the remaining 91.8% of the global enterprise landscape? As agentic AI and platforms like Infosys Topaz become the standard operating procedure for massive companies like Mercedes-Benz and Nokia, the ceiling for this technology is virtually limitless. The AI revolution isn't just coming, it is already here, it's already highly profitable, and it's actively rewriting the balance sheets of the future. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.